Hey, good morning. How are you feeling today? Check into your body and take a deep breath. Let it out with some noise. We're going to explore something that's maybe going to trigger a few people, but it's really, really, really important right now to start to be aware of all facets of what our awakening is. So let me begin like this. So we come into this world as an innocent little baby, a soul that's chosen to have a physical experience. We come in through our mother and then are exposed to a 3D density that's completely different than our light, our love, our balance that we had when we were spirit or as a fractal of God. And we begin that 3D experience. We got to be pulled into the density. We got to be pulled into a whole bunch of programs that are part of our lineage from our parents. We carry a lot of in our DNA stuff that happened to the lineages before us. Shamanism teaches us that could be 10 generations. Shamanism also teaches us that we are born with the medicine to heal those lineage traumas, those things, those wounds that weren't able to be resolved and dissolved by our parents or our grandparents or everyone above. So we are born into new awareness, into a world where there's a lot of lies, a lot of inclarity, a lot of deception that's used to control, that's used to manipulate, to keep people down, to keep people from understanding their full power. And we grow up, and our parents have had our own traumas and lineage issues and stuff like that, and they teach us the best and love us by spanking us or hitting our hand or telling us don't do that or don't, children must be seen but not heard. We end up getting coded or coded with a bunch of crazy programming that slowly goes into us. And then as we progress into our life, we start to have some of our soul contracts fulfilled. We get traumas that happen in our life. Somebody attacks us or controls and manipulates us, has narcissism towards us, and we get into these patterns and these molds that allow us to be manipulated, to be controlled. It takes our power away, and slowly over time, as we grow into adulthood, we have been trained into compliance, which is exactly what control wants. They want you to give up all your other money, believe they have power over you, believe they can do whatever they want, and that you're a bad person if you don't do this, or don't follow the rules, or don't whatever. And it coats us with all these layers of code that basically guide us in how we're supposed to be. I have to be a good person. I have to be a people pleaser. I can't rock the boat. I can't make mommy mad. I can't make grandpa mad. I can't make dad mad. I can't make my boss mad. I can't make my husband mad. And we slowly get into this place where we've given up all of our power and all of our ability to defend ourselves or create. Sorry about that. It's pretty bad when you lose cell reception right underneath the cell tower. But we end up not being able to defend ourselves, to not have boundaries. We've been fully and completely, I don't like the word, but sheepified, let's call it, where we've been taught that only a good person or good sheep follows the rules and doesn't rock the boat and does everything the government says and our religion says and our teachers say and our parents say and our family says and our kids says and blah, 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 blah. And then one day we get into this point and we are like, holy shit, what the hell is wrong? I have no life. I can't do anything. I'm constantly helping people move. I'm constantly helping my kids, running them to soccer and blah, blah, blah. And you find out you don't have a life because you comply. And this is where things get really interesting, because essentially everything that could defend you, that could protect you, which is on the side of anger, rage, frustration, having power, etc. You've chosen to be compliant and shriveled it away, which is okay. That's the process of almost everybody on this planet. In some way, shape, or form, is their power was gently taken away over time, and they were left as compliant sheep, so that they could be easy control. They would never question anyone. They would give up their rights, be in understanding, which means stand underneath. It's a legal term that we use, but don't actually know what we're saying, to give our rights away. Did you know that the police tell you, do you understand? And if you don't say, I understand, they don't have power over you. They think it's just because of the word that you're not choosing to understand. You can say any other word. I hear what you've said. I honor that that's what you believe, but I don't agree. Oh, and you won't get very far that way, because they are bound to not proceed unless you give them power over you. Sorry, must be an important topic because they're blanking me out whenever they can. So now we're starting to be angry. We're starting to be at the bottom of the pit. We don't know why everybody gets their own way. They don't know. You don't know why everybody's getting what they want, but you don't get anything, and you get angry. You start to go sit with your inner child, that child that's like pissed off that mom told them they can't talk, but now they have no voice and they can't choose, and the teacher that hit them with a yardstick or whatever and controlled them through pain and fear and compliance and all these demented things. And now we're sitting as an adult really angry that we don't have choices in our life, that those people took things away and we freely gave them. That was the expectation. You didn't do anything wrong, but now we're stepping back. We're wanting to take our power back. And this is where the exploration of dark comes. The dark and our power is all related to things that we're told not to be. Not a good little girl doesn't express her anger. A good little boy doesn't hit. Good little whatever. These are our warrior parts that are ready, willing, and able to defend ourselves, but we've been told they're bad. That to have anger or rage or seething frustration is not safe. And we believe them. We sit with those energies and we bottle them down and put a cork in them and then somebody pokes us and they trigger us and that cork comes out for a minute and we get friggin' like unjustifiably angry over the stupidest little thing. Well, our darkness has been suppressed. And now I want to explain that darkness isn't bad. Once been through your awakening journey and you start to really, really, really become aware of what's going on, the darkest dark is the lightest light. It's light, it's love in a form that we've never experienced before. It's a trauma or somebody you've contracted with before you even came to deal with each other's boundary issues, to deal with a lineage trauma that you're trying to heal, but you need somebody to be a perpetrator, somebody to be a victim, somebody to go in and nudge us and to push us to our edge. Are we going to explode and take a stand and walk through, or are we going to let our power go away and be a victim afterwards and then shut our whole life down and stop living because the world's not safe? There's people out there that'll do this to me. You know? Sorry, the internet is crazy today. But this will happen over and over and over again, and then it's pushing us to an edge. And how else can we get to an edge if there isn't such a thing as darkness or something that makes us rise up and take a stand and to start to step into our warrior essence and realize that yin and yang isn't a white dot. Yin and yang in full balance of this universe is a black, whatever you call that, spiral and a white spiral intertwined at 50%. And inside each of the spirals is their opposite color. The center of light and love has a dark spot in the middle. The center of dark and rage has a light spot in the middle. This is the trueness of our awakening journey, trying to find out how to find our balance, to go and explore our rage and explore our anger and explore our fear and come out the other side and say, fuck, I am those things. I am, and they're my power, and I am worthy of having better. I'm worthy of having boundaries. I'm worthy of me coming first. I'm worthy of loving myself. I'm worthy of all these things. Once you go in and you learn and you vent and you feel the depth of what rage is and what the depth of anger and frustration is, and exploring those thoughts that maybe you hide in the corner where you want to hurt somebody and you want to take back all the things they took from you, and the rage, playing those out in your mind, playing those energies out, screaming into your pillow, screaming into the light, and finally getting so that you can be okay in sitting with those energies. And to sit, and next time something to happen, and you sit there and you light your fire, say, no fucking way is that going to happen this time. You all of a sudden have your full control of your full power. Your full power has darkness in it. Your full power, your full self-expression, it allows you to be angry, it allows you to take your power back and not let other angry people or people that are so pissy or whatever you want to call that, you just want to just slap them across the face. Well, you can do that energetically. You can say, no fucking way, shut the fuck up, I don't need to hear this. And guess what? That person will never approach you again. They may be insulted, they may be angry. Guess what? They're triggered as well. They're in this power trip, they're in this thing, and they most likely need exactly that to find their balance. So once you start to see this beautiful balance of people taking power and being perpetrators and people being victim and giving up their power, this is the balance, this is the game, this is the dance of a human experience. To go to the depth, get pulled to the bottom, be angry, be frustrated, be happy, be sad, be whatever, and in that moment, choosing through accountability that violence won't fix this, anger won't fix this, but fucking staring into a person's eyes and saying, no, I won't. Or getting to the point that you're so frustrated, you just block them and don't deal with them anymore and walk away from it. All these kind of things. Oh, there is such grace and ease in being in your absolute triggered space and then making a choice for you. And that choice often has no words at all. And actually, they will get so much more out of you honoring yourself, because they're constantly waiting for someone to be that mirror for them. They're constantly knowing that there's somebody out there that's light. Do you think a dark person doesn't get a charge out of a light person? That's why light and dark, they want to take your light so that they don't feel so dark. It becomes this beautiful exploration of your balance and how are you going to treat people and how do you want to be treated. And then when you stand in that observance of being in the middle of all that and doing what's right, and without triggers and without all that hidden energy and without that child burned and angry, if you start to realize that that child that's angry down there, he's been locked in a cage. He knew balance. He knew what anger was. He was told to never express it, to never do it again, to stop, to shut up, to whatever, because everybody else he terrified. By them being in their energy, do you think a child that knows his power and then has a parent say, you will be seen but not heard? That's a parent completely not in control of themselves, worried about their own child breaking them open or triggering them into dealing with their shit. So parents teach this, they hide it. Our grandparents do it. It was often taught, wasn't even our parents a lot. It was 3 generations before where the parents and the grandparents had their issues and they didn't want to deal with it, and they all these things, and they don't want you to break their stuff, so they're hitting you by the hand and spanking you and all these things, and you're getting angry because you don't deserve that. That's not what I deserve or whatever. Your rage sits there and it seethes and it bubbles until one day it comes out, and it comes out on somebody that isn't even involved and wasn't even part of that experience, because we're not in balance yet. We don't under, be aware. I don't like the word understand, but we aren't aware. So to be our full expression of God, of source, of us as a enlightened human being, we have to be in complete balance and have to be in connection, and don't put in our cage our darkness, our rage, our frustration. One of the most healing things I've ever had was to sit in a group of other people and express my rage and fucking burn inside, because that's a part of me, and it makes you feel so alive and so real, and your ability to be in self-mastery to not burn someone down because you can do it, but because you have that ability and you won't take bullshit for an answer. Holy fuck, you become empowered. Our darkness is as much important as our light. And to be able to find the balance of it is self-mastery. And you then are an empowered warrior, an empowered king, queen, warrioress, priestess, priest. The person that can walk in the most intense energies will hold the interest of people around them. They want to be like you. They want to understand who you are and why you're that way and what's different about themselves. And they want to learn from that so that you can do that. And to have an interaction with a person that's fully in those powers is the most powerful thing you'll ever have. To have somebody fucking express, I will not participate in your bullshit anymore, and to be enunciative about it. And it's like, geez, you just always whine and complain and blah, blah, blah. And all you do is create the same thing over and over again. I can't be around you until you look at that. That mirror, that reflection will be remembered by that person forever. It might smash them open in that second, but that smashing open sometimes is exactly what they need. Do they need to sit in it? Do they need to whine in it? Do they need to wallow in it? Do they need to hear it anymore? Do they need to project on you? Do they need to whatever to run away from doing it? No, sometimes they need to run headlong into the fucking wall of a friend of theirs that says, no, I'm not going to let you talk like that anymore. And you don't have to yell and scream or hit them or whatever. You just say, fuck no, we're done. That is where darkness is light. You all of a sudden can stand in your power. You're not going to put up with their bullshit, and they will either step up and move through and change, or and find that for themselves, or they'll run away from it for the rest of their life, and eventually they'll come back to it and they'll realize that you were love in this really intense way, and they will appreciate you for it. And people will come back over and over and over again to a person that is that much integrity, in that much in their self-love, can stand in the power of their rage, their frustration, and all these things, and not play games with it. That's what enlightenment, awakening is to go through all these tests, all these challenges, finding ourselves, eventually finding what light really is. And it's a mix of our power, our rage, our anger, but also our love, our light, our blessing. You can love in rage. I love you so fucking much, and grab you by the collar and say, stop hurting yourself. Do you think that's a punctuation mark for someone? Do you think that's something that somebody's going to look at and either be terrified of or feel the awe and the light of, holy shit, this person is frustrated and angry, but they're holding their power and they're loving me and they're speaking directly and intensely to me? That is magic. And we don't recognize that as magic. We recognize that, or we've been taught that that's bad or whatever. When you start having powerful interactions with people like that, you'll understand the power of light and dark and what absolute balance is, the yin and the yang, the zen, the whatever. So we need to walk through our darkness. This is stuff I teach people. I work with people and I help them trigger and I help them take them to the edge and ground them that in intensity, grab them by the collar when we're having a discussion and say, what the fuck is going on here? And trust me, the first couple times it might be a little bit scary, but eventually it's like, fuck, why is nobody else standing with me? Why is nobody else in this much intensity? And once you have complete command over all facets of yourself, it's so easy. It's so easy to speak the truth. It's so easy to see through the bullshit. It's so easy to be that grounding beauty for people. So explore your darkness. If you need help exploring your darkness, come talk to me, or I'll have other lives. We'll talk about it, go into places. I want to build communities and workshops where we go up to our edges and we talk about them, and we have everybody with tools and give them those tools before we sit down, and then see people in their trigger and see people walk through it and how they use the tools and the breath and the stepping back and observing to eventually become in self-mastery of the responses in their body, and self-mastery to be able to move the energies and project them through your body in a way in self accountability. And then it changes everything, because once you have control or mastery of those parts of yourself, all of a sudden nothing is scary anymore. There's no fear that you're going to explode into a million pieces, no fear you're going to hurt someone, no fear that that bomb that's inside of you is just going to burst at some instant and hurt someone, because it's clear. So I'm going to close here. It's been a long one, but I appreciate you all for listening. This is a powerful message, and it may trigger you, but once you go there and explore this, and nobody wants to teach you this, this is called shadow work, your life will be different, and you'll be empowered, and you'll get your power back so quickly. So I love you all. Thank you for listening. You have a great day. Talk again soon. Bye.